Greetings folks, today I'm in Calistoga, California, and I'm going to do a short jaunt up the Oat Hill Mine Trail. Come along with me. This is the entrance to the trail, and having done this one a long time ago in the past, I remember that this is a really tough hike. I have no intention of doing the whole hike today. I'm just going to get to a certain vantage point for a little bit of exercise, and then I'm going to continue my trek into Calistoga. As I begin my ascent up this hill, I'm seeing remnants of the most recent wildfire, which did run through Calistoga. I was noticing different parts of Calistoga as I did the drive up here that were affected by that wildfire. So today is the 22nd of January 2021. As we head up this little trail, we can look down onto Highway 29, which goes into Lake County, and we'll get a better view in a little bit of the town of Calistoga, which, by the way, is, if you're not familiar with it, the most northern town that's part of the Napa Valley. So going from the north to the south, where we think of the Napa Valley as Calistoga, St. Helena, Yountville, and Napa. Okay, let me save my breath here for a minute. It's already going uphill. There's a vineyard down below. Of course, it's dormant in January. And over here to my right, more signs of that fire. A lot of blackened logs. Well, it's pretty cloudy today. It actually rained this morning, and from this vantage point, I'm not really getting the view that I was hoping to get. But it is beautiful, so I'm just going to have to be good with that. And looking down over here is it's part of the town of Calistoga, which of course is famous for its spas, sparkling water, lots of vineyards and wineries, restaurants, etc. And actually, that's where I'm headed. So we're going to have a change of scene here in just a minute. I will save the rest of this trail, or even a longer portion of this trail, for another day. But I do have an agenda, so into town I go. Okay, I'm in downtown. This is the Calistoga Spa and Hot Springs. The post office is over there, and I'm headed to the main drag. An interesting thing to note is the remnants of an old railroad track here. As you can see, still left behind from the early 1900s, when there used to be an interurban electric railroad. Very interesting. It looks like it went from about 1903 to about 1937. Here's a plaque that lets you know that the railroad track is the last remaining track of the San Francisco, Napa, and Calistoga Electric Railroad. And the depot stood where today's firehouse is. And this is another plaque dedicated to the Mini Railroad Park, which actually, I don't see a park, so maybe that's also around the firehouse. Walking down the main street, you'll see a lot of old, almost Old West looking structures. Restaurants, wine related things. A lot of things are closed, and if they're not temporarily closed, I'm afraid some of them are permanently closed. Some businesses have really taken a hit with this coronavirus. I think you can see that sign across the street. It says, "I love Calistoga." It is a really fun walking town. It's somewhere that you would bring your guests when they visit in the Napa Valley. And usually there's a lot more activity, but it's fairly quiet today. Okay, I've turned the corner and passing by an art gallery that someday I'd like to visit. And we are heading into Pioneer Park. Just a quick walkthrough. Going back the other direction, you can see the hills in the background. We'll walk past some of the businesses and then I'll get on to the Vine Trail. Ooh, this place is definitely on my things to do list in the future. It's the Romeo Tasting Room, and it just has such a beautiful garden in the front. Yep, definitely coming back here. Okay, walking over this little bridge in town, I noticed a really pretty mural with horses. A little bit of water under the bridge. Let's see what else we can find. I really like some of the old facades here. And down one of the side streets is the Sharpstein Museum and the Sam Brennan Resort Cottage. So these things are just not open to the public right now. So again, on my list for things to do when the town has opened back up. That's City Hall across the street. I think it's a neat building. And there's a very fancy Roman spa, hot springs resort. Such neat things that I'm seeing in the galleries and in the store windows. Oh gosh. That sign says gone. There's a beautiful wooden chair made out of wine barrel staves. More artistic furniture and all sorts of neat things. Window shopping here is really fun. This alleyway has a mural on either side. Just goes from one street to the other. Okay, so those hills at the end of town is where I just was on my short hike, overlooking where I am now. And the old Calistoga Depot used to have shops here between the railroad cars. Nice little shops. They're all closed, I think. Yeah, chained off. There's a beautiful old hotel, the Mount View. Okay, I've walked a few blocks away from the main drag, and I've arrived at the Vine Trail. So, this part of the Vine Trail is fairly short. Someday it will run from here all the way to Vallejo, but right now this section only runs from here to which is Washington, the end of Washington Street, to Dunawheel. Here's a sign besides the tick sign. Okay, they call it the Washington Dunawheel Bike Path. Well, you can certainly walk it as well. So I came here yesterday with two friends and walked this part of the path in its entirety, and I don't think I'll do the whole thing today, because I'm getting hungry and I've done a lot of walking already. So just to let you know, this will continue down this way, nice and flat and paved. It's a nice walk. I believe it's about 1.5 miles, so round trip would be 3 miles. You can park in downtown Calistoga and walk down here or bring your bike, and you'll end up at Sterling Winery. So if that's a place you already know, you'll get some kind of image in your mind where this ends up. And then the trail stops and does not go through St. Helena yet. One day it will. But for now, it picks up again in Yountville, and it's about an 11-mile trail down to Napa. And then it goes through Napa, and someday it will go to Vallejo. Just want to show you these clouds. Ooh, wow. And right over here are some dormant vineyards. Same on the other side. The sun is coming out and it's warming up, so that's nice. Well, with this beautiful view, I'm going to say thanks for coming along with me today while I walked part of the Oat Hill Mine Trail and then through downtown Calistoga and then this particular part of the Vine Trail. Someday to be completed. I've done about half of it here, and I'm going to turn around, go back and get some lunch. So thanks for coming along with me. Take time to wander, and I'll see you in the next video.